Howdy folks, welcome back to WAC. I am incredibly excited today, as the Mercenary Unit has now been released. This is a cache-based unit that is mobilized within a new province building. I am going to go into great detail with a stat comparison in this video, and later I'll have a full unit review for you. I'd like to apologize for the lack of videos recently, and you can expect my flow of content to stay slowed for another month or so. Also, I will be moving content not related to CoN to my second channel, War Sometimes Changes. With that nonsense out of the way, let's get to the juicy details. The Mercenary is quite unique and rather strong as well. Once you have the unit researched, you will want to build a mercenary outpost in a province so you can mobilize them. Shockingly, they mobilize even quicker than National Guard. The longest part of the process is building the mercenary outpost. You will probably want to plan ahead if you plan on getting into trouble at some point. I can see this unit being incredibly useful mid to late game when most players have excess cash. Building these on or near a forward operating base as you are conquering will probably be the most common use case. Keep in mind, these units cannot conquer, so they are mostly for beefing up your existing ground stacks. And wow, that upkeep it's something else. Making these early game is not advised. But I think we've got the basics covered, so let's take a gander at the detailed unit comparison. Oh my Lanta. Now that's a lot of red. It seems in comparison to the other standard infantry units, the mercenaries only excel in infantry attack and hit points. Honestly, I'm very impressed with how well balanced Dorado made this unit. Now, since mercenaries do not take supplies or components to be mobilized, I've updated the way I calculate the cash attack ratio. If you're not aware, the cash attack ratio is how I determine the cost effectiveness of a unit when it faces a specific threat. Now, instead of simply dividing cash by the attack, I now incorporate the cost of any materials that go into mobilizing a unit. Perhaps I should shorten it by referring to this formula as CAR. Well, the CAR of the traditional infantry units will almost always be better, so don't think you can just use cash to quickly make a superior fighting force. Not only are mercs less cost effective, but the upkeep is actually shockingly high. The manpower upkeep for mercs is 5 times higher than motorized infantry, and the cash upkeep is over 27 times higher. Yeah, wow. What you are paying for is the quick mobilization, versatility in spawn location, and overall effectiveness when attacking soft targets. And hey, I'd personally much rather spend money on these guys versus being a dick and using spies on everyone just to burn my cash. Since my last update video, there were a couple of minor updates. Artillery has received some moderate changes. I especially like the fact that rocket artillery has been nerfed a little bit. Mobile artillery, aka SPGs, now cost electronics to make. Huh. Well, that sucks. Elite attack aircraft now require a level 3 airbase to make. This is actually somewhat of a big change. This means that in the early game, players won't be able to just research ASFs and immediately get elite strikes in the early game. Unless they use the forbidden butter, of course. Some think that this will majorly hurt low-skilled players and encourage golding, and I'm guessing that Dorado made this change due to how popular the aircraft was. Personally, I like having high-level air bases for the resource production increase, and this may make regular strike fighters more appealing since they only need a level 2 airbase. This update did bring a couple other things with it that I'd like to mention. They introduced a new token system for joining special events, likely games such as Zombies, Rising Tides, and whatnot. This seemed like a negative at first, but with limited chances to play in events, it may actually reduce the frequency of AFK players. They also did some bug fixes and changed a couple of minor things. Retreating will be a little less punishing, and combat between stacks will be different somehow. Yeah, the explanation in this Discord post doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. Well, when you look at all that's happened since my last video, it actually ends up being quite a bit. I love the way the new Mercenary unit looks, but a lot of balancing updates end up being kind of neutral for me. But hey, you made it this far, so here's a little info. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future we see a new Mercenary unit, maybe a sneaky Mercenary unit. And with that, I think we have everything covered. Mercs are simply a versatile way to spend excess cash and manpower. That's the short of it. Thank you so very much for joining me today, and look forward to my full Mercenary review in the coming weeks. See ya!